Hello everybody, it's PsyStarcraft here with another Heart of the Swarm replay commentary. It is a Zerg versus Protoss this time. I hope you guys enjoyed that terrible Zerg versus Terran. If that was a spoiler, then you should watch my videos in order and quit being a little bitch about it. Didn't have music enabled last time, so it might have sounded a little bit strange. Although I can just make some of my own music, like strong bad style. You guys know what I'm talking about if you're old enough, and if you ever watched Strong Bed. But anyway, Zerg versus Protoss. The map is Belshire Vestige, or something like that. I don't even know what a vestige thing is, but I feel like Zerg versus Protoss is my best matchup. So hopefully you guys see something awesome here. I know what you're going to see because I played this game. I am Psy in the top left. My opponent is Phil Nilite. P Hill Nilite. I don't even know. What happened to like good names? Like mine's simple, Psy, or like Shadow, or Darkness Falls, or some shit like that. Why did they create these Phil? I don't know. Anyway, we have an unusual build coming from Hill. He is piloting in his base first and getting a forge in his base. That's so unusual. I don't see why you wouldn't just start your wall off here with your pylon and your forge. It might have something to do with the map that I don't know about, or the skill of my opponent. He could be really bad, or he knows something I don't. Because this is kind of a large choke for Protoss to wall off, but I mean, usually Zerg will just fast expand, so you don't have to worry about getting a super fast wall off. Or maybe there's some new meta that I'm not up on, but you guys should let me know if there's a specific reason he's getting a forge in his base, or maybe he's just really bad. You Protoss players should know. So he's going to be following his forge up with a Nexus. So Pylon, Forge, Nexus. I have gone 15 hatch, and I am now going 16 pool. Just doing my usual thing with the Overlord Scout. Pretty much every video you see of mine, you'll be seeing that. And I am choosing to fly my Overlord into the natural of the Protoss base. Now, the only time you wouldn't want to float your Overlord into the natural of your Protoss base is if they do go Gateway Cybernetics score. But if they do that, I feel like even if they are able to pick off your Overlord, you're going to be ahead just because they chose to get such a late Nexus. So even if they do get a Stalker out in time to kill this, it's like, wow, you're doing a really old school build. I'm going to be ahead of you in macro, and I'm going to kill you because you're bad. So yeah, he is starting his gas. He's chrono boosting his Nexus, so that's something I'm going to be looking for when I float into his main. I mean, obviously I know he's going to go for a more macro-oriented build because of the Nexus, but you also want to check out when he's using his chrono. I mean, if he's saving it up and he's getting a faster core, he might try for some like warp gate timing or something like that, but in this case, pretty standard stuff except for the whole forge in the base thing. My expansion has completed. I've got 2 lings out on the field, and I'm continuing my gas production, gas mining. I'm going to be starting my Overlord speed here, or my Ling speed rather, here pretty soon. Overlord speed will follow in a little bit. Cybernetics core coming up for filling the light. And I am a huge advocate of fast Overlord speed for scouting. Prevent cheeses from your opponents, prevent any two-base all-ins, and it still allows you to macro fairly heavily, so core is about to be finished. And I want to keep an eye on that core. Is he going to chrono boost it? Is he going to try for some kind of gateway timing, float my Overlord into his main, see if he's getting any Stargates or a Dark Shrine or anything like that. Harvest count now 25 to 28. He is ahead of me because I am waiting for that first inject, but once my inject comes, I should be sitting nice and pretty. My Overlord actually was a bit late, so that's kind of unfortunate, so my larva is going to be sitting at max for a couple seconds, but there goes the Overlord. 6 drones on the way, as well as probably another queen. There's that queen there. You always want to get a creep queen or 2 or 3, depending on what kind of creep spread you want, what builds you're comfortable with. And here comes the Overlord speed. So these 4 lings are just to kind of keep any probes out of the center of the map, so he can't get any sneaky pylons, although he might have one already, but he doesn't in this game. And just to keep an eye on any scouting that he might, or that I might need to do here, like seeing any tech buildings. So now if we check Harvesters, he's now up by 1. We are tied. I should be pulling ahead pretty soon, and we see that with the 8 drones. Now, of course, a fast expanding Protoss can keep up with pro production against the Zerg player if he spends his Chrono Boost on his Nexus. And you can see he's primarily Chrono Boosting his Nexus. Now my Overlord is in position. These guys are getting in position to scout and see what tech path he is choosing. Now, despite him being about even with me on production, I'm going to be taking my third sooner, as you can see here, and I'm going to be able to scout him and know exactly what he's doing. And that's really the key when you want to get ahead of a Protoss. You need to know whether you need to drone up or whether you need to train units. And in this situation, I feel safe droning up because I see he's just now throwing down the gateways, and now I'm going to be flying in and checking out what he's doing at his base. I see that Void Ray, and this is going to be telling me to go lair and get a Hydra down. Now this lair was actually a little bit late. Honestly, I forgot to get it, but I mean, one Overlord or one Void Ray isn't going to do a whole lot, and if you are worried about this Void Ray doing something, just get like one Spore at each base, or get an extra Queen or something. I do have my gases up, and I am now transferring some drones to my third base to get ready to saturate that. The Harvest count now 51 to 46, but of course I do have stronger potential for increasing that count, increasing the macro advantage, because I have my third on the way. Now I am mining at this gas, and this is actually like this for a while. It takes me a while to notice this, so always keep an eye on your geysers when you're hopping back and forth through bases, injecting. +1 attack and armor being researched, so Roach Warren is out, but I realize I don't really have to get any Roaches yet, because I've seen his Stargate. I know any timings he throws at me are going to be a little bit slow. Now, have I seen these gateways? No, I haven't seen the gateways that he's producing right here. And I'm going to want to fly in another Overlord. Here's another Overlord in position. The first one has been killed. And I have this tower. And when you see a pylon like this, you know he's probably going to want to stutter step his pylons up towards your base. And I saw the second pylon, and so now I'm thinking, okay, he's going for some kind of timing attack. He's trying to get a forward pylon. I do end up killing that probe. Let me just scout just to make sure. There's that Stargate. And here's 6 gateways now, and he's going to be making those into warp gates, and then that's going to tell me no more drones, start making Hydras, start making Roaches. You can see my saturation is great. It's 67 to 45. I should not be building any more drones. The most important thing right now is creep spread, which you see here. This is going to help me immensely. It's going to kind of discourage him from pushing through, and of course it gives me faster units. And just getting Roach Hydra, because no timing this soon for Protoss will involve Colossi or High Templar or anything like that. And if they do, there's going to be so few units, it won't even matter, especially with this creep spread. So a non-observer push is pretty tricky for Protoss, just because creep is so beneficial to Zerg. So you can see I'm just churning out the Hydras, churning out the Roaches. Of course, I would have a lot more units if I... There we go, now I fixed the gas. If I fix that gas sooner. And I've even got an extra Harvester on this gas as well. So if we check out the unit tab, I've got 13 Roaches and 4 Hydras against a lot of gateway forces, but I do have tons of Hydras on the way. He's choosing to break down these rocks to make the choke a little bit wider for himself. Although I think that actually hurts him, because now his force fields aren't going to be as effective, So at this point I have Roaches, I have Hydras. I've only got 3 Hydras, though I do have 5 on the way. And he's only got 3 Void Rays for me to deal with, and I think he's waiting for one more warp. Shut up, cat! Fucking cats, holy shit. He's waiting for another warp in, and as you can see I'm getting 18 lings, and the reason I'm getting these is just because I have the extra larva, and tons of minerals, not a lot of gas, so it really made sense to get lings as opposed to just a few Hydras. Pushing out a little bit just to make sure he's still going to engage, and here he comes. He's got a lot of energy from force fields, and I just have Roach Hydra with +1. If we check out his upgrade, he's actually only got 1 attack upgrade on his Zealots, and that's not really going to matter too much because my 1/1 negates that. I'm trying to throw down some time orbs. It's not going to do a whole lot. The only thing I could have right now, though, is Hydra range. I've only got 5 range, and that allows the Stalkers to outrange my Hydras. It's not looking good, but 14 Roaches on the way just hit an inject, and that's going to be huge once they actually pop. You can see Hydra range almost finished, and these Void Rays, man, just barreling down on these units, but gateway units with air is just not that great against Roach Hydra, especially when we macro well. And as you can see, this entire time I'm at 23 Harvesters, so really he knows if this attack fails that the game is going to be over. And indeed it does fail. So that was just scouting, injecting well, and producing just normal Roach Hydra units. You can see my energy would only be at 18 excess when I inject here over the course of 12 minutes. It's pretty damn good. Decent creep spread to discourage him from pushing around here, and he chooses to go through to the third from the side. Despite some decent force fields and no Hydra range, I am able to take him down. So there's still have the extra Harvester. So that's just defending an all-in, a 2-base all-in. It's a pretty popular Protoss strategy, and you really just need Roach Hydra. It's pretty damn simple. Even just like Queen Roach would probably work. That's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.